Please read in Proverbs, wise saying mostly by Solomon about the practical affairs of life, especially emphasizing righteousness and fear of God. This book, like Psalms and Pentateuch, this book is divided according to its titles into 5 parts. Proverbs Solomon chapter 1:9, Proverbs of Solomon chapter 10 to 24, Proverbs of Solomon which men of Hezekiah covered in 25:29, Word of Agur 30, Word of Lemuel 31. Those most of the Proverbs are ascribed to Solomon. Solomon seems to have burned all about the same relation to Proverbs that David did to Psalms. Each was the principal writer. Psalms a book of devotion, Proverbs a book of practical ethics. Solomon, as young man, he had consuming passion for knowledge and wisdom. And First King chapter 3 verse 9 to 12, he became the literary prodigy of the world of his day. His intellectual attainments were the wonder of the age. Kings came from the end of the earth to hear him. He lectured on botany, and zoology. He was a scientist, a political ruler, businessman with vast enterprises, poet, moralist, and preacher. See on 1 King chapter 4 and 9. A Proverbs is a short, pretty, axiomatic saying, the life of which is an antithesis of comparison. They are wholly unconnected, designed primarily for the young. A form of teaching, repetition of practical thoughts in form that would sicken mind. Ang kailangan dito, sinasabi dito malinaw ang pagsabi sa Proverbs dito, no? Mahinahon, malinaw, no? Kamangha-mangha, no? Kamangha-mangha ang pinakita ng Panginoon. Pag kung may kontra naman, sabi, the comparison, may comparison, na sabi, unconnected design primarily for the young, form teaching, repetition of practical thoughts, and form that would stick in mind. So, kailangan yun ang dapat gawin. Subject, wisdom, righteousness, fear of God, knowledge, morality, chastity, diligence, self-control, trust in God, righteous property, use of riches, considerateness of the poor, control of the tongue, kindness to enemies, choice of companion, training of children, industry, honest, idleness, laziness, justice, cheerfulness, common sense. Ano ba ang dapat natin ipakita? Kung hindi naman tayo kontrolado ng Panginoon at ang ating sarili masunod, wala tayo dito sa sinasabing fear of God, knowledge, morality, chastity, diligence, self-control, trust in God, wala. Tithes, property, use of riches, considerateness, wala. The four, control of the tongue, and kindness to the enemies, hindi yun nakikita pag ang Panginoon wala sa puso. Pagkos inaari na ang kalaban talaga, no? Manira kung manira. Choice of companions, piliin daw kung sino ang companions nyo, training of children, o ano ipakita natin sa sangbahayan at sa mga bata kung ang gawa naman hindi tama. Sabi dito, industry, honesty, idleness, laziness, justice, helpfulness, and cheerfulness, common sense. So, kailangan talaga nandoon common sense sa apo ko. 7-year-old lang, pag medyo may narinig ni tama, please, use your common sense. Pero mo, bata yan What more pa kaya yung mga young? Kaya ingat, no? Hindi yung nais lang natin ang dapat isagawa. Sabi dito, this book aims to inculcate values that are insisted upon throughout the Bible, over and over in all the Bible, in multiform ways and by diverse method. God has supplied to man a great abundance of instruction. So, yun ang Panginoon, talagang siyang mag-supply na ang instruction niya talagang sundin. Sabi nga dito the teaching of the book of Proverbs are not expressed and thus saith the Lord as in the law of Moses, for the same things are taught as direct command of God. but rather are given a coming out of experience of man who tried out and tested just about everything that men can engage in. Moses had said, "These things are the commandment of God." Solomon here says, "The things which God has commanded are proved by experience to be best men. And the essence of human wisdom is the keeping of God's command." Malinaw yan. God and the long record of the revelation of Himself and His will to man. No? It seems resorted to every possible method, not only by commandment and by precept, but by example also to convince man that God's commandments are worth living by. No, Solomon fame, ang pamilya no, was a sounding board that carried his voice to the end of the world. No, biro mo, and made him an example to all the world of the wisdom of God's ideas. Kaya mabuti talaga na ang kaalaman o ang karunungan mula sa Panginoon, dahil nakikita ang kabutihan at gandahang loob, kayang mahalin, no, ang kalaban. Kaya sabi nga dito sa chapter 1, sabi dito, object of the book to promote wisdom, instruction, understanding, righteousness, justice, equity, providence, knowledge, discretion, learning, sound counsel. No, sabi dito sa verse 2 to 7, what splendor words. The starting point is the fear of God. Verse 7, next giving head to parental instruction. Verse 8 to 9, then avoidance of bad companions. Chapter verse 10 to 19, wisdom cries aloud her warnings. No? Verse 20 to 33. No? Kaya dapat kailangan pag magmula sa Panginoon in chapter 2, wisdom to be had must be sought wholeheartedly to place to find its God's word. Then follows a warning against the strength of woman. Beautiful chapter, kindness, truth, long life, peace, trust in God, honoring God in our substance, prosperity, security, happiness, blessedness. Kaya dapat ang kailangan, no? At saka sabi sa chapter 5 sa Proverbs, marital joy and loyalty, a warning against unchaste love. Solomon had many wives, many women, but advised against it. No, nagpayo siya. He seemed to think the one wife arrangement better in 18 and 19. No, sabi nga sa chapter 6, warning against questionable business, obligations, laziness, cunning, hypocrisy, haughtiness, lying, troublemaking, disregard, offense, legitimate love. So, ang tao, kung lalaki man yan, isang asawa lang. Kahit paano niya pamalaan yung isang grupo na malaki. Kung siya ang sumira sa tahanan niya, no? Ang obligasyon niya sa kanyang mga anak, ang presensya, wala. No? Paano niya mapamahalaan ang isang grupo kung siya naman tumiwalag sa tahanan niya at nasa ibang bahay siya? Anong kakayahan nun? So, pag maraming asawa, isa, dalawa, tatlo, mahirap. Kaya sabi nga ni Solomon, had many women but advised against it. He seemed to think the one wife arrangement better. Diba? Kaya isang asawa lang. Mean to see that, kaya mo mamahala. Dahil kaya mo dalhin sarili mo, kaya mo dalhin tahanan mo, pamilya mo, kaya mo magdala ng malaking grupo. Remember, ang sabi dito, sabi ni Solomon na, God's commandments are worth living by. Solomon's fame was a sounding board that carried his voice to the end of the earth and made him an example to all the world of the wisdom of God's ideas. This book of Proverbs has been called one of the best guide book to success that young men can follow. Oh, remember that. No? God bless all.